Hi, this is Group 8's presentation for SIT 262, Week 12, Chapter 22. Our presentation is on information security as everyone's job every day. In the DevOps book, it talks about the ratio of engineers being really skewed. So the ratio of engineers in development, operations, and InfoSec in a typical technology organization is 100 to 10 to 1. So for every 100 developers, there's one InfoSec person. That's a pretty heavy load to bear if you're the sole one in that sole 1% taking care of security. So today we're going to talk about how it can be spread across everybody's duties every day. A lot of times when companies realize that that is such a heavy load to bear for that 1%, they'll turn to outside sources. But that's actually not an ideal situation. When InfoSec is organized and managed outside of development and operations, very often problems occur. So the better solution is to integrate information security in all of development. That's what this chapter is about. Integrate security into development iterations. The idea here is to begin early, to do it from the start. So start early in the iteration. Why do we want to do that? It's less expensive. Business expertise is gained by InfoSec. They know what's going on with the whole process then. And they're able to teach security and compliance objectives. So the devs can learn better how to develop things if they know what security and compliance objectives actually are up front. InfoSec blockages are the worst, especially if they're at the end of the dev cycle. So that's why it's important to start early. Integrate security into defect tracking and postmortems. So tracking repositories and postmortems should include dev, ops, and InfoSec. Security issues should be tracked the same as dev and ops. So we know, Kanban boards or the different ways of tracking are frequently used for dev and ops, but not necessarily for security, but they should be. In 2012, Nick Galbraith of Etsy said that they put all of their security issues in Jira. So Jira is one of the tracking apps that's used. All engineers use Jira daily, and so security issues are visible. He also said that whenever there was a security problem, they would do a post-mortem to educate the engineers to prevent future happenings. And it was a good chance to share their security knowledge. Integrate preventative security controls into shared code and services. So repositories should not only be for code, but also for security problems. So version control apps like Bitbucket or GitHub should include the security libraries or services that are required. This would include things like two-factor authentication, encryption keys, tools for file integrity monitoring, and code libraries with their config settings. It's recommended to have a base cookbook or a build image of the OS, the database, and other infrastructure that may be required for the app, showing them in a known, secure, and risk-reduced state. So if we are sharing the responsibilities, they truly need to be shared, and access needs to be given to all who are participating.
Integrate security into our deployment pipeline. We need to automate as many of our information security tests as possible. This will allow them to run alongside all other automated tests in the deployment pipeline. Ensure security of the application. We need to include these in our testing. Static analysis, we need to inspect the code. Dynamic analysis, we need to test from the outside in. Dependency scanning, inventorying to make sure there are no vulnerabilities in the binaries. Source code integrity and code signing. ensure security of our software supply chain. A lot of software is assembled from open source projects. We need to make sure we fix any security vulnerabilities found in the components or libraries that we use. Ensure security of the environment. We should do whatever is required to help ensure that the environments are in a hardened, risk-reduced state. We need to run necessary tests to scan for vulnerabilities.
This is Dennis Visa speaking, integrating information security into product telemetry. Here's an easy way to prevent InfoSec from being a blocker at the end of the project. Invite InfoSec into the production demonstrations at the end of each development interval. Creating security telemetry in your apps and environments. Protecting sensitive data within apps to protect company data that is accessed from devices that is not managed by the company. Use Intune apps protection policies which can apply to apps even if the devices are not managed by Intune. This is just one way to protect sensitive data within apps. Protect your development pipeline. When most practitioners speak of threat intelligence, they are trying to understand the risks of the most common and severe external threats, like zero-day threats. That brings me to my conclusion. All internal security and external security can be handled very simply by either locking doors, keeping tabs on people who are coming and going. Offices are busy places, letting different people come in each and every day. It's our responsibility to find out if these people are qualified and able to access any of the systems that we allow them access to. Most data breaches and threats concerning data or app security come from internal or external sources through others letting others in. Thank you so much. Goodbye.